Good evening, it's part 3 of Kirby's Adventure, and we unlock the next 2 doors. It looks like I didn't have any interest showing you what was in that other door, so I'll just tell you. It's called a museum, and basically there's an enemy in there that's immobile. He's not moving or anything, although you can still get hit by him if you try to, like an idiot. But the enemy's basically being displayed there, so you can just steal his power, and that room is basically so you can just go in there and get a free power if you need it. I believe Sword was in that one, but I'm not sure. Okay, so I repeat the same mistake repeatedly at this part. You see, I get hit by him, and that's just because I think I can fly straight up the ladder and stay out of his trajectory, so I go and do it again. But clearly that's not the case. And that was like my 3rd time in a row being hit by him. I actually make up for that right here though by kicking this guy's ass in a total of 1 second. Yeah, if you ever want to beat him instantly, just get the power right below there. But yeah, that guy that I just beat gives you the ice power, and there will be 2 ice powers in this game, just like there are 2 fire powers. So this will be the first one. It's called Freeze, and ice powers in Kirby games are pretty fun because you don't just kill them straight away. You actually freeze them, and you can send them as an ice cube into other enemies. You know, and when you really think about it, it's kind of just like Kirby's default ability, but it makes a cool noise now. It's blue, and I mean, you're fucking freezing people, okay? That's just cool. I don't know. I'm gonna try and show as many abilities as I can through this playthrough, but the thing is, here in Kirby's Adventure, you know, this earlier version of this game, as opposed to Nightmare and Dreamland, this version of the game, a lot of the powers aren't nearly as cool as they are in that game. That game adds all kinds of new abilities to each power. It adds better graphics. It just makes them more fun to use in general, honestly. I mean, that just goes for the whole game. It really is just a better version of this game. There's not really anything this game has on the Game Boy Advance version of it. Regardless, I still like playing this game for a few reasons. Things that will only matter to me, really, because the Game Boy Advance version of this game takes the graphics and makes them... I completely forgot why I did that, honestly. I remember there was some reason I screwed something up and I just wanted to replay this whole door, but I realized it just spawns you like right back at the beginning of... It doesn't spawn you at the very beginning of this level. It spawns you through the last door you went through. And I don't remember why I did that anyway. It doesn't matter though. At least you get to see what it looks like when you die in a Kirby game now, because there's no way I died in the first game. But what I was saying about this is that the reason I play this game still sometimes is because the newer Kirby Game Boy Advance games and DS games and everything aren't done in the same style as the old Kirby's Dream Land games. You know, 1 and 2 and kind of 3, but not really. Even though I didn't have an NES or this game when I was growing up, playing this game makes me feel like I had Kirby's Nightmare and Dreamland as a Game Boy game. Well, I guess I kind of did, because it was on the Game Boy Advance, but the way I'll put it is that I like playing this game in the 8-bit style because it just brings me back to the Dreamland games, while being this game. Whatever, this is Wispy Woods, ladies and gentlemen, and he is back just like I said he would be in Kirby's Dream Land. He's still dropping apples on us, he's still blowing air at us so hard that it hurts, and he is still incredibly easy. And yes, Kirby does the same thing in this game. He calls up his doppelgangers, and those 3 always put on a good show for us, right? Alright, here's the second world, Ice Cream Island. That sounds pretty good, actually. Here's the water level, I guess. A lot of the levels in this game have water. There's no point in saying any one level in this game is the water one, because it's everywhere now. But this one seems to have palm trees and tropical setting and everything, so this one I think is centered at that theme. But there is a level called Orange Ocean too. I wonder if this is the same ocean as that. You know, I doubt Kirby traversed across an entire ocean over the course of this game. This game is like, what, 3 hours? 4 hours maybe? 2 hours if you speed run it. Here's the other fire power. I've killed plenty of those guys before, but yeah, instead of shooting yourself this time, Kirby is exhaling fire. You know, a better way to say that is Kirby has gained fire breath. I don't know why I said it like that. So Kirby has fire breath now, and this is a pretty fun power too. Certainly looks better in the improved version of this game. You know, I'm going to stop saying that because that's just obvious at this point. That game is the improved and modernized version, and you should just play that instead. But this game having a better version of itself out there is not even what's wrong with this game. I said earlier in the playthrough that I have a bit of criticism on it, but I'm just waiting for a better point in the game to talk about that stuff. But I think it's time to leave this power behind. Okay, so we got some woods, we got a tornado. Oh, tornado power. Love this one. Maybe not in this game, but later in the series, this power becomes OP. I mean, this power becomes some serious shit later in the series. I cannot wait to show you that. But in this game, it's pretty awesome too. It does its job perfectly fine. And there's a reason I'm saying that. You know, you would be like, oh, well, obviously it does its job perfectly fine. Why wouldn't it? Well, there's a power in this game that I believe doesn't do its it doesn't do its job at all as a power. It doesn't do anything. I'll show you it when it gets here. It can't be too far in the game because I remember I showed it to you one time early on and then decided to never touch it again for the rest of my life. So, yeah, you'll be seeing the last time I ever used that power in this playthrough. So, you know, just keep watching. What I meant by I already showed it to you was that it happened early in recording this game, not in the commentary. So that part hasn't happened yet. But tornado power works just fine. Okay. Let's see. Where's the star going to take us this time, huh? Yeah, I love these parts of the game because they are pointless. You could just put a door there, but it's just like, why not, dude? Let's have Kirby fly a huge distance to go somewhere else. Let's show some scenery. That's the kind of shit that counts for me. I mean, I suppose they could be doing it because they want to have like some kind of transition from one world to another, because you can notice that if you look at the hub world, the way it's decorated. The level is decorated depending on what the hub world looks like outside of the level, basically. So there will be a better point in the game to point that out to you. But I just tore that guy apart with the flame power, and he possesses exactly what it looks like he possesses. The power of wheel. And yeah, this is what most of the speedrunners use for this game. You can obviously see why, and it's a pretty badass power. I mean, why wouldn't you like going extremely fast and not being able to be hit by any enemies? You can still be hit by spikes though, and I think invincible enemies still hit you. So, you know, you're not invincible with the wheel power, but it is certainly an upgrade. Alright, so there's another door to Crane Fever, and yes, there's more mini games in this game, and I will make sure I show you them by the end of the game, but Crane Fever, you know, I'm not going to show you that shit again. That'd be pointless. Although, I guess I could use as many extra lives as possible. I think I accidentally reset the lives one more time before the game is over, because if you turn this game off and turn it back on, your lives and score are reset. The only thing that stays is your progress in the game. And, you know, I didn't record this all in one take because I started getting a headache, which might have been from this part right here, because I can't seem to remember how to get back there to that secret. You know, I swear I remembered how to do that in Kirby's Nightmare in Dreamland, and I guess I could have looked it up to fix it for this playthrough, but again, if I'm playing both Kirby's Adventure and Nightmare in Dreamland, I'm pretty much playing this game twice, so I'll do everything right for the better version of this game. If this game had two different endings, that would actually give a purpose to playing it twice, because I could show you, you know, what both endings are. But there's nothing within this game that you can do to change the ending. It's kind of just a solid playthrough. You just gotta beat it. That's why I like Kirby's Dream Land 2, because there is an optional good ending you can get in that game. You just have to work really hard for it, and I didn't even discover that in my childhood. I discovered that playing it later on, you know, when I was a young teenager. That's still a long time ago at this point, but not nearly as long ago as my first time playing Kirby's Dream Land 2. That was my first video game ever. But enough about that game right now. I'm not sure if one of these things happened in the first part, so I'll describe it right here. That knight that you just saw jump on the screen and call these guys forth, he's a new character to the Kirby series. His name is Meta Knight. And in this game, he will be a bad guy. At least I'm pretty sure he'll be a... I'm not sure who's a bad guy in Kirby games, because they all seem to be good guys at times too. But in this game, Meta Knight has called he's called these guys on us. You know, these are his minions. They're a little bit stronger than the regular game enemies. They have some projectiles that can be hard to dodge. They move quicker. There's more of them. You know, they have an army of people. You can't kill them with the power. You have to suck them in and then spit them out. Or I think you can kill them with certain powers, but all I know is they're a little bit tougher than the regular game enemies. See, all this I think stuff, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about that I'm going to fix for the Nightmare in Dreamland playthrough. I'm going to give you the full experience of this game when I'm playing the better version of it, basically. I've already probably said that like infinity times by now, so for the rest of this playthrough, I'm just going to talk about this game, this playthrough, and I'm just going to see what more I can say about it. But that is it for part 2, so we're going to continue this game in door number 4 in part 3. So see you then.